Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. As always, want to thank everybody for their support over on Patreon, or if you are a member over on YouTube. Again, thank you guys. We couldn't do it without your support.
We are very grateful. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And please do check out evolutionaryenergyarts.com. Learn more about us and what we do, including energy work, biofield tuning, and coaching of all varieties, health, spiritual. Again, we're here for you guys, and we love interacting with you guys, and it is one of the biggest blessings in our life to be able to have worked with thousands of people from every single continent on the globe but Antarctica. Nobody from Antarctica yet. Well, the sun is relatively quiet. You could see there hasn't been anything, even a M-class flare in several days. It's very, very quiet and calm. It's kind of weird. But all is not typical. Let's say when it comes to the resonance, the Schumann resonance, when we saw this is Disclosure News, the Schumann resonance today. And here you go. You have this breakup, weird, speckled, spattered pattern that is a little bit, not typical. It's anything but typical. And immediately, Cindy picked up info from the guides. Actually, we have been working on sorting information from the guides for the last couple days. And this is a little not typical for us either, because usually we go through meditations and mantras before making any videos. It's just naturally what we do. We always center and ground. Yet, I want to get this info out because this feels pertinent, and so many minds and consciousnesses have been focusing on July 5th. Again, because of the big prophecy of Ryo Tatsuki, who is a manga artist, where they talked about a earth-changing earthquake. By the way, it's a real typical looking day out there as far as the USGS goes. We do over in the area that she was talking about have a couple quakes, but there's nothing out of the norm. We have a 5.4. This is relatively normal. This is the area that was swarming, which at the moment now is not swarming. Now, if we go to 7 days out, you'll see there was a lot more quakes here earlier in the week. And if we go 30 days out, this is a very, very active area, 78 quakes. However, right now, it's not so active. It's pretty typical. Now, could be building or it could be something else. And this is what I want to get across. I think the biggest takeaway is, and people have said, well, hey, you say that it's not the Kali Yuga anymore. I don't notice any difference, some people will say. And then other people will say, oh, man, yeah, everything is so different. In fact, this world right now is kind of crazy and weird. To me, I'm more like the latter. I notice huge differences in consciousness and in interactions with people, of which we stay isolated a lot. We interact with our regular clientele. Other than that, Cindy and I don't have a lot of contact with the outside world. We really, really don't. We contact our guides much more than we contact other humans that are embodied. Again, you guys are all of our clientele that we talk to on a regular basis. So when I'm out there in the world, to me, it feels like the world is very different. It feels like something has shifted. Consciousness is shifting. It is changing. Absolutely. In fact, we just recently had this article that came out. It was talking about the Earth spinning faster. But when you look at it, we've seen this for various times. Like here you go, March 27th, 2024. Earth is spinning faster than it used to. Clocks might have to skip a second or something. Over here, October 12th, 2022, the planet set a new record for the shortest day. In fact, when you go back, you'll keep seeing these different articles. What's really going on with all this? Oh, and by the way, it's 8:43 p.m. in Tokyo, at the moment right now, because again, Tokyo, Japan, if you're on the East Coast of the United States, there's quite a different time gap between them as far as the prophecy goes. Now, some have said that she just said July. Others have said that she said July 5th as far as the prophecy. The thing to take from this is there's so many variables in play. To have an exact date, exact time was almost going to be impossible. Now, all of our consciousnesses are having an effect on the reality that we experience together, and each one of us views it a little differently because we're all a fractal of Source. Source is within you. Again, if you're looking for facts and figures out there to find your own definition of reality, you're going to probably be sorely disappointed, because, again, the real path to knowing is within. It's within. You have to develop that connection to the spiritual side of things. And when we look to that, more people, I do believe, are becoming spiritual, and in many cases are becoming far less religious. In other words, they're not just taking what somebody else has developed as a system for growth or for a way to look at the world. They're not taking somebody else's ideas and just saying, I'm going to go by this. No, they're looking for themselves. They're being their unique version of themselves. And they're going to create their own system. And that's what I really would encourage everybody to do. Look at what other people are saying, sure. Listen to some spiritual and even scientific gurus that you resonate with, but always make your own decision and make it with what things feel like to you. Feel into a situation. When you look to Star Wars, and you have the old, whether it's Luke and Obi-Wan learning from Obi-Wan, whether again it's Obi-Wan teaching Anakin, whether whoever it is that's teaching the other, it's always about search your feelings. And we're taught in our world that feelings are less than left brain analytics. Oh, okay, analytics are the way to go. Analyze something. Use logic and deductive reasoning. When the science is giving us, stats, facts, and figures that get totally revised later. Look at our economic situation. They give us all these numbers. Oh, okay, March was this. January was that. February was this. And then they revise them later on so that the numbers are not even accurate. Or the science is revised later on, 10 years later, the science is totally inaccurate. What do you really have? You have nothing. You have nothing. You have no ground to stand on. And this is why people feel so shaky. Those people that rely on facts, figures, stats, and the science, to guide them and light their path. If you are just going by really ultimately what feels right, what do you sense? Yes, you could read all the facts and the figures. You can analyze until you're blue in the face. Believe me, I've done it. I've spent so many years. My entire life, I have been a knowledge junkie. I've gone down every divergent path I could think of. And what I do, again, typically is when I get down to making decisions, I go by what resonates and what feels right. And again, I would encourage everybody to do that. So when we're looking at this Schumann, Cindy immediately had strong message from the guides about what's going on here.
Oh, it was so strange, and it came to me so quickly, and the magnetism in which the information came was really strong. It's just, I looked at it, and a couple of things came, and they just, chunked. They stuck right to me, and one of them is this is definitely a time shift. This is a time shift that has been captured right here in front of us. Extremely, extremely rare. And sure, they could come back and say later, well, it was some kind of glitch. They can say anything they want. But right now, as it stands, as I look at it, time shift, it just came screaming to me. And after that, there was another little bit of information that came to me, and that was about the Earth actually spinning. The Earth is changing. It's changing. It's how fast it speeds up. So, I mean, how can that be? Well, they are measuring certain things, and those two things came to me. The Earth is speeding up. We are going through a huge timeline shift. So that was very, very interesting. And I don't think I'm the only one who has picked that up. I think a lot of channelers have picked that up lately, that we've gone through a timeline shift. But what does that mean to you individually? I think we need to reel it in and figure out, okay, well, what does that mean for me? Are things going to change in my life from another direction? Sure, they really could change in your life and be better. I want everyone to focus on things being better with yourself, with your family, with the world. I think it's really important to focus on, because all of our minds are looking at this right now. We're all putting a concentrated effort at this shift. I'm calling it a timeline shift. Let's focus on the positive. Let's focus on our world getting better. Let's focus on, just start with yourself. Focus on you getting better, and then your family, and then your neighborhood, and then your city, and then your state, and then your country, and then the globe. And if we are all doing this, it is going to create quite a huge positive wave of energy is going to flow through, and it will make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel we are in absolutely uncharted area, which I feel is exciting, because I do think that the prophecies that we've been given, they're really, truly, mostly given as far as the ones that come from the light side, per se, in order for us to take the highest road possible and avert these very, very damaging situations, which we can do if we so choose. I also think that there are so many things that don't have to be a secret, that are a secret only because, again, the system that we're under, the dark matrix that resides within the light matrix, the natural matrix, has made it so. They don't want you understanding the rules of the game. They tell you a new set of rules, their rules, and they expect you to keep not questioning anything and going along with the rules that they've given. As soon as we start questioning their rules, then we start to see new possibilities, new potentials. I do think we can break through. I think we can completely change all the timelines that have been placed out there as likely potentials. And I think we do that all the time. Again, that whole Mandela effect. What's really going on there? Those are timeline shifts. They're timeline shifts. And it's really up to you. We are like every one of our souls. It's almost like you can imagine that we come into the earth realm here. And it's almost like, to get to that earth realm, you got to put on kind of like a VR helmet. And you're coming in with all your friends and family, and then others that you don't really even know so well, or maybe never met before. You're all putting on this helmet, so to speak, to take you into this reality. Again, these bodies are literally just simply a vehicle to come in and to experience this reality. Yet the bodies attach us to other souls that have come in before us, our DNA lineage. And what happens is we have to work on clearing out past traumas, not just from ourselves. That's something that's going on right now, because to level up, per se, to level up and go into an all new territory. Oh, it's an exciting thing, but it involves clearing away your own blockages, overcoming your own obstacles, and along the way, you do help out those that have gone before you, and clear out the DNA lineage as well. Again, biofield tuning is something that Cindy utilizes along with her. You could call them psychic gifts. Again, she is a trance channel, but she does more channeling not in trance, and she is able to usually speak with people that have passed on, as well as nature spirits of all kinds. And so for us, we have daily interactions. We're never alone, even though we might be isolated, like when we were in the New Mexican desert, or even in Nevada. I mean, there's very few people around us for many, many miles, and yet we're having interactions all day, and it seems sometimes like every day, with what you would call disembodied intelligences. This is the news flash. The Bronze Age, everybody's going to be doing that. This is why when you look back to the fairy tales about these interactions with all these different beings, seems like it was a totally different reality. Well, it was. It was the last Bronze Age. So again, there's a different set of rules there. And as we said, June 21st, 2025 was the end of a treaty. And it was basically a treaty in which many parties agreed to not openly make contact with humans and just kind of let them evolve on their own for a while. Well, that treaty is over, and we're in no man's land. And I think, again, what you're seeing here with the Schumann is showing that we are in uncharted territory. So it's up to us to decide, what are we going to do? I think, again, we need to operate out of peace and love and compassion and understanding, and not allow the system to separate us, because the system's always looking to find things that it can utilize to keep us fighting each other instead of unifying. If we unify and we come together and decide we want to collectively change this place for the better, that terrifies them.
It does. And, when it comes to this treaty, I sat down and I started to get more information on it just yesterday to bring clarity, because it's not a treaty like we would understand that we have between the states. This is multidimensional. So it's taken me a moment to sit down and go in between the energies and pull out more information. But I've done that. I'm working on that because I want to bring a clarity to myself first. I mean, how frustrating is it when you get information but you really don't have any clarity to help you. So I sat down and I started to channel more clarity. So we're probably going to do a video on that too.
Yeah, we have. I'm a whiteboard type of guy, which I have like multiple whiteboards. Some of them are gigantic, and yet we're working on 7 videos right now at the same time, and seeing what info we can get and put into each of those videos. This is kind of like how we are doing it, and sometimes you'll find a barrage of videos coming out on one subject. Again, it's all about pulling in the information and then putting it together in a coherent way. So we just try to again give you guys what we have learned and experienced for ourselves. So this, to me, again, this shows there's a big change in consciousness, and I do think it's for the better. I want to stress that. Doesn't mean it's going to be a smooth sail right up to a golden age. It doesn't work that way typically. But at the same time, I think our consciousness is really holding off so much negative energies, and what we need to do is to transform that. So each individual working on the inside to cultivate the energies of love and compassion and joy, and also gratitude. Feel gratitude for the blessings that you have in your life, and really, really look at it. Again, we can always find things to complain about, but you could probably also find some things that are very, very positive, and reflect on and even speak about the gratitude for those things. Because again, that's again the magnetism of this reality. We pull into our sphere, our world, our magnetic energy that we're putting out there will draw our reality back to us. So focus on the abundance in your life. Focus on the gratitude and the things you have gratitude for, and more good will come and flow into your life. When things are constantly going wrong, typically the individual is out of alignment with their higher self. They're out of alignment with the higher plan that you had decided for yourself, because you, again, you make your plans and you come into this reality. You go and you put on that headset, take part of the game, and then when we leave the physical body, it's like we take it off and we see an expanded reality of what's always been around us, but we cannot necessarily see very, very easily. So on that note, I wanted to share with you guys a little cuteness. And yes, there'll be more to come. To me and to Cindy, what I'm seeing with the Schumann, oh yes, the world's getting turned upside down in a positive way. In a positive way. There still can be all sorts of difficulties. And again, it's not like we're stepping right into a golden age. We're just going into a bronze age, which is an age of understanding our situation. We're not totally in the dark about our situation. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to be just roses and fluffy little kittens and puppies, but it could be. Again, each one of us has a lot more power in determining the path that we want to take individually. So recognize that. Cultivate a sense of gratitude and love, and focus on the positive, but be aware of definitely be aware of potential roadblocks and challenges, and work on sharing the love. Share the love, because again, you can change the world. You are a much more powerful being than you believe or have been taught.
Indeed.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.